All right, culinary students, so we are going to start by talking about the cultural significance of food. As you watched in previous videos, you have already seen how to make the recipes for banana cream pie, bread pudding, tiramisu, and the cannoli, but now we are going to talk about why these are important cultural desserts and cultural symbols for America, Ireland, and Italy. So let's start with the banana cream pie, and that is specifically related to American culture. So let's talk a little bit about the history of banana cream pie. Although pie and custard pies are ancient, banana cream pie was a recent culinary invention that is purely American. Due to America's geographical closeness to the Pacific and Central America, where bananas are typically grown, this made bananas easily accessible to American bakers. The first banana pie recipe is in an American cookbook dated back to 1880. The recipe does not contain the traditional custard, however, and that custard was incorporated into banana cream pie in a recipe that can be tracked back to a recipe book published in 1906. Bananas are often a fruit that is easily adaptable to other desserts as a fruit substitute. For example, bananas work well in pies and puddings, fruit salads, and ice cream. In a survey conducted in 1951 on the U.S. Armed Services, banana cream pie was the favorite dessert among the armed servicemen. In the United States, March 2nd is National Banana Cream Pie Day. Now let's talk a little bit about the importance of banana cream pie on America's culture. So bananas are a staple in the American diet, again due to their geographical location and closeness to where bananas are grown. So American culture is a hodgepodge of all the cultures of its immigrants, since America is the land of immigrants. So this traditional dessert basically took the pie that immigrated over with the immigrants from Europe and combined it with the bananas that were exported from Central America. So banana cream pie takes the foods of its immigrants and makes it its own by using easily accessible ingredients and staples in the American diet. So that is why this dessert is important culturally to America. Now on to the cannoli. As you probably know, the cannoli is very famous for being Italian, more importantly Sicilian. So the history of the cannoli dates back to Sicily. However, at the time the dessert was created, Sicily was under the control and occupation of the Arabs, and it was important for the local people to stand out culturally from their occupiers. So the cannoli was originally made for a festival, kind of like Mardi Gras in the United States, and this dessert was supposed to serve as a symbol of fertility for women. Most cannolis are made with ricotta cheese or mascarpone or a combination of both, and they are often garnished with candied fruit, nuts, or chocolate, and the mascarpone or ricotta cheese filling can also be flavored with rosewater, vanilla, or any other liquid flavoring. Now onto the importance of the cannoli on Italy's culture. So when the Sicilians were under Arab occupation, they attempted to create a part of their cuisine that would really distinguish the locals from their occupiers, and this became the essence of the cannoli. So this simple dessert represented an important distinction in cultures and kept Sicilian traditions and culture alive during foreign occupation. Additionally, as with many other cultures, cuisine of a culture is determined by available ingredients. As ricotta cheese was traditionally made in Sicily, this sweet staple was a go-to for desserts. It's no wonder why Sicilians picked this creamy curd to fill their cannolis with. Now on to Ireland, and one of the most famous United Kingdom era desserts is bread pudding. Now, what does it mean to be a pudding? Well, in the USA, we typically think of a pudding as light and fluffy, kind of like an instant pudding, but in the UK, it's totally different. In the UK, a pudding is a pastry that contains bread or additional pastry. Now, bread pudding is nicknamed the poor man's pudding because this is a dessert typically made with stale bread. So basically, you aren't wasting the ingredients that you already have access to. And this dates back to about the 1200s, and although bread pudding is not specifically Irish, the whiskey cream sauce spread on top of it is traditionally associated with Ireland, as the Irish have very active breweries. Now, what impact does this have on Irish culture? Well, since Ireland has so many breweries, this is really impactful on all their aspects of cuisine, even demonstrated in this dessert. And this further shows how all parts of culture are affected by the imports and the exports of a culture and what they grow in a country. So as whiskey and alcohol were readily available in Ireland, they became an integral part of Irish culture. So that's why the bread pudding with the whiskey cream sauce has become authentically Irish. And our final dessert that we are going to culturally analyze is my favorite, tiramisu, which is, as you probably know, authentically Italian. Now, kind of what's the history of tiramisu? So the history of this dessert is kind of shrouded because many city-states in Italy claim its origins and claim to have invented the dessert. So what we do know about tiramisu that it is Italian for pick-me-up or carry-me-up because of the strong caffeinated coffee flavor that comes soaked in the ladyfingers of tiramisu. Originally, tiramisu was made with a loose custard, but recently recipes have included mascarpone cheese to make the tiramisu thicker and sturdier. So now, impact on culture. Well, as you know, Italian culture is extremely family-oriented, and all desserts of Italian culture are kind of oriented towards this uh, importance and emphasis on family. So Italian coffee, which was readily available in Italy, became a main ingredient in tiramisu because it could easily be soaked up by the spongy ladyfingers and create that coffee goodness that you taste in tiramisu. Italy is also known for, like I said, its familial culture, and this is evident in its cuisine as it is vibrant, as you can see and as you can taste, but it is also very simple and easy to make. Most Italian desserts are made with less than 10 ingredients, but with the highest quality ingredients, and this is due to their geographical location in the Mediterranean, which allowed trade to easily bring in the best foreign ingredients possible to include in their desserts. Also, Italy's geographical location allows for amazing ingredients to prosper in Italy itself, making the country rich with raw materials. So going back to the family aspect, as family is very important to Italian culture, this cuisine was simple and homey to focus on the importance of savoring food with family instead of like fancy concoctions made by chefs. So this was really an emphasis on the relationships between people instead of like the grandeur or romantic style of cooking. So that is how these four foods impacted their cultures and their countries, mostly because of the raw ingredients that were already available to them, either through their geographical location or through trade.